our friends from the bench, John and Lance, were out in Aggie Land this morning.
Ooh.
They were able to catch up with head coach Jimbo Fisher, and we'll get to some of the discussions we've been having with Aggie fans in a second. Let's start with Jimbo talking about one of the Texans' rookies, Kenyon Green, and what they're getting in him.
I think Love is getting a guy who loves ball. He's a team guy, which is different than, anymore. A total team guy. I mean, this guy, you're talking about played all four positions and would do it weekly and never say a word. Right, who do I need me? Where do you need me this week, Coach? Who's bumped? Who's bruised? These young guys around me, putting him beside younger guys to play. I mean, the things he did, but also a guy that's very powerful. He's a big body guy who has great lower body flexibility. He has power, but he also has length. He can pass block. He likes ball. He learns well. And I think a guy that's going to play up there for a long time.
It's certainly cool to hear all those things, and those were the things that we read about in his draft profile. What sucks is that he's banged up right now, and we're not really 100% sure of what's going on, when he'll be back. This is always a terrible time to miss if you're a rookie, because this is the most hand-on experience you're going to get as an offensive lineman during practice time leading up to the season. I mean, there's a lot of OTA work in its walkthroughs, essentially. Mini camp, it's the same thing. And a lot of training camp is walkthroughs, too, for offensive line play, but you do have the full padded practices, and those are massive. You're already really behind the eight ball as it is compared to the NFL and the past CBA if you're an offensive lineman, just because you don't have as much practice time as you used to have. I know a lot of offensive linemen coach are pissed off about that, and I would imagine there are some veterans who think to themselves, you know what, like these guys that I'm seeing in the league now are not getting nearly the kind of immediate training that they need that I got in the early years of my career. There was only a few guys probably left that actually got that, like Dwayne Brown being one of them, and he's not even on a team right now. So I am a little bummed out about the Kenyon Green situation right now. You've been seeing a lot of Max Sharping at guard instead.
He's still a thing, isn't
he? AJ Can also has been in there too. He's number 60. So you want to see Green out there, you just haven't.
People say training camp sometimes doesn't matter. Training camp's boring. For guys like Kenyon Green,
and I would say a lot of the cases it is, and especially for offensive linemen.
For a lot of the veterans, it is. I mean, it's hard on the body. It's hard on the mind. They were talking the other day, Jason McCourty on Good Morning Football, about how many training camp retires happen with people never even knowing about it because it's lower level players, guys that have been in the league for 5-6 years that just kind of bow out. For guys like Kenyon Green, it matters.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. We'll have to see what happens there. Jimbo said all the right words, team first, all of that. We know that about Kenyon Green because we saw him play so many different positions. I think the word versatility gives me PTSD because I covered Bill O'Brien.
It should. It should give you PTSD. It is not good to move offensive linemen all over the place. So Jimbo Fisher is saying, hey, he can do all of these things in a pinch, but you do not want your young player to move from one place to the next, to the next, to the next. Ask any veteran offensive lineman. It is an uphill battle when you first get into the league to learn all of the new things. Things that have been so simplified, too, over the last couple of decades in college football, where it's done in a way where it's designed to be as easy to grasp for a young player as possible, both from a blocking perspective and from a running routes perspective. So it's a critical time, and any time missed, it just sucks because you know that it's going to be that much harder for that guy to, pick up speed as the season goes along. And here's the thing. If you want Davis Mills to develop as a quarterback, do you want one of the interior offensive linemen right in front of him getting pancaked over and over and over
putting
again?
It nicely. Which rookie, Paul and Sean, do you guys think will have the biggest impact year one? Now, obviously, we know about John Metchie III. He's out as he battles leukemia. But there's a couple of different options. Who do you guys think?
I think it's narrowing down, and I think this was a good day for Derek Stingley Jr. today, which is very encouraging to see because I haven't been thrilled.
You are the Derek Stingley Jr. critic.
Yes, it's been, and look, he's a young player. It's new, but he's getting a ton of attention from the coaching staff. So he is going to get every possible bit of advice he possibly can. It's a matter of him picking it up, and it does seem like he's moving around a little bit more quickly. But for the sake of just saying, okay, I'm going to pick the guy that's out there the most. Can't do Kenyon Green, can't do Christian Harris, either the linebacker out of Alabama. Right now, for me, it's between Damian Pierce and Jalen Pitre. I consistently hear, good job, Pitre, out there from coaches. Just consistently hear it. And Pitre does seem to be trusted not just he's out there with the starting defense perspective. He is also out there on special teams, too. I think he's going to do a lot this season. Where with Damian Pierce, the running back out of Florida, I think there's a lot to get excited about, but there's a crowded running back depth chart, and I think that he'll play, but he won't get as much playing time as we all probably want.
Sean, who do you think makes the biggest impact as a rookie for the Texans?
I think Stingley just being out there as much like he is going to be like a starting cornerback as long as he's healthy for the Texans this year. And I think, impact maybe both in a good and a negative way, where there probably are going to be some matchups where he's just overwhelmed because he's a rookie and really probably asking a little bit too much for a guy, who also barely played in college to now step in and guard some of the best receivers in the league. And so I think Stingley, just because he is so clearly part of the future and you want to get him as many reps in games as possible.
Right.
I think he's just going to be out there so much.